Yes, motion passes. Item 15, motion to approve the following resolution. Be it resolved by the Fostoria City School District Board of Education that it approve and affirm a performance payment of 100% to Superintendent Andrew Sprague pursuant to Section 5 of his employment contract entered into on January 10th, 2018. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Patrick Graham?
Yes.
Mrs. Brinkman?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Wade?
No.
Dr. Green?
Yes, motion passes. Item 16, motion to approve the following resolution.
Dr. Guernsey, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. For motion 15 there, is this the motion for the resolution to be approved for it's retroactive pay that we've already been paid in February?
It would have been paid at the end of June, at the end of the fiscal year.
Gotcha. So is this a performance evaluation that was made where, and I'm going to just say it right out, I mean, you know the rules and regulations. You've been here for 15 years, correct?
That's correct.
So isn't it part of resolution that you have to get board approval, correct, for these motions to apply?
That is correct.
Is it also fact that you went ahead and approved it prior to resolution with the council?
That is also correct. We basically had, through conferencing with the attorney, determined that how we've done it in the past was not the way that we should be handling it going forward. So we've, in the last 8 years that we've had these performance pays, maybe it's been longer. It's never been formally voted on, and that's one of the things that we learned through with our legal counsel, that this needs to be done now moving forward. So that's why we are obviously approving this.
In the past 15 years, though, has it always been voted upon by the 5 board members?
Not at, no, not during a public session. It's never been voted upon. This is
Even in an executive session, regardless of whatever session it would be, I mean, it's still voted upon, correct?
because you can't vote during an executive session. I mean, it's the time that it's actually approved is obviously during a regular open meeting. And this is, like I said, we've never officially taken action or ever approved these in the past.
Okay, so the past board presidents in the 15 years that you've been here, sir, have always...
We've always kind of done it myself and the previous other presidents, which obviously there haven't been as many, because I've done it for most of the time. Yes, I've done it, and we've done it incorrectly for the majority of that time.
I just want to voice my opinion as a concerned citizen. We pay taxes. We actually vote for you guys to be on the board. We expect you guys to do your job wholeheartedly. If any kind of financial, even if it's for a penny, goes out through the city, it still gets voted upon by the 5 board members, regardless of your position of president or just a regular board member at that time. I'm not saying anything was done wrong, but ethically, it brings up a huge concern on my behalf as a voting member of the society. I don't believe that should be done by one man. Because if I'm not mistaken, if it was a 5% or 6% increase, he makes 100 plus, that's a pretty wealthy endowment just to be given out by one person, correct? I mean, we vote on other things. I mean, we're voting on things for $131, $61, and we can just nonchalantly wave the wand at $6,000 and say that's good. I mean, I want to bring motion back to Section 8, Policy Committee Recommendation. You guys just put in there for the adoption of new revised board education policies about staff ethics, policy 3210-4210. I mean, that's a huge ethical complaint in my eyes. I mean, hopefully everybody else's eyes, that's a huge ethical complaint as well.
No, I see your concern. I understand that, and that's why we are, correcting past errors.
And that will be written into a policy as well on how to vote for or deny this. Because as the way I see it currently is it's already been paid, so why is it even voted on right now? You know what I mean? Why are we going to take a vote for something that's already been paid? In all actuality, if you guys have abstained the last 2 meetings, and I'm not saying anything negative, this is just an idea of how other places run that I've researched in the little bit of time that I've had, that 6% gets paid back. Then you guys vote upon whether it's 1%, the full 6%, whatever it is, and then it gets paid out, correct?
I guess I'm not following you what you're saying right here.
So ethically, you messed up. Legally, you probably were within your bounds. But we're voting on it right now as a consensus whole, where Tommy actually said no, and I agree with you, Tommy. Thank you for standing up. Ethically, it's wrong. When these things come about, it should be a voted on thing. Yes, in the past thing, we can use that as a cliche all day long. However, if we're voting on it now, his payment's already been made. Then I would also like to add to that, how many students did we start the school year off? Does anybody know that? Roughly? I relay that question over to Mr. Sprang. Do you know how many students we started off the school year with?
1850, between 1830 and 1850,
How many kids did we end the school year with?
in that same area.
What about the amount of resignations? I know it's not in guidance with FERPA because we're not giving out any names or whatnot. But when it comes to resignations, I mean, this all needs to be taken in accordance when it comes to staff evaluations, correct? I mean, that's a huge concern. If you have a multitude of people that are mass exodusing and we're still giving out a bonus, ethically, it looks like there's some sort of relationship that shouldn't be ethically there, correct? I mean, there's other things that can be pointed out, but I'm not going to. People may know, people may not know. But privy to my knowledge, these ties should be cut if you're overseeing money that goes to his pocket, correct? Ethically, not legally, ethically.
I guess what ties are you, I guess I'm not following your line of communication or your train of thought here.
You should have voted upon the 6%, is what I'm saying, ethically.
And that's what, like I said, that's why we're going back tonight and doing it the way our attorney recommended. So that's why we are voting on this, and we'll be doing this way moving forward.
Right, but what it looks like from the community standpoint is that the community sees you guys are friends. I mean, there's complete transparency with that. It's cool to be friends. But when you make a decision for your friend without, counseling the rest of the board members, that's where a lot of people in the community are having a problem with, because it is a voted upon position. You know what I mean? That's the concern that I'm bringing forward from a concerned citizen standpoint, that we just shouldn't wave wands and say, hey, this is that. I understand there's more conversation going on up there. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. But is that not a concern? I'm sure it's been brought up by the board.
What not a concern? I guess.
You just saying, yes, 6% is approved when it hasn't been approved by the rest of the board members.
And that's why, like I said, we've addressed it. It's been communicated.
I've been here quite a few times now. You guys address quite a few things, and the rest of it gets shoved underneath the rug. So when is it going to be formalized is what I'm asking.
When is what going to be formalized?
How you guys vote upon everything. You guys vote upon $131 here and $61 there and $1,500 stipend here, but you didn't vote upon 6% increase.
And that is, like I said, that is something that we have now corrected, and we will do it that way moving forward.
How did you correct it?
That's what we just did right now. That's what we're in the process of doing.
Well, I know it looks like you're covering your tracks is what it looks like from the community standpoint. It looks like you said, yes, here's your 6%. Let's vote on it retroactively later on. Hence probably the reason why Mr. Wade voted against it. He doesn't want to be a part of it. It looks like muddy water. Tell me I'm wrong.
Everybody has the right to, I mean, like I said, that's why we have legal counsel. We try to do things to try to,
That's what I was asking. When you guys had legal counsel these past two meetings, what was the resolution that you guys came up with on how you guys would vote upon these increases?
Well, a lot of those I unfortunately can't share because that was discussed while we were in executive session. So,
will that come out in like a formal policy so the community knows how things get approved?
It's actually spelled out in the contract, and through basically interpretation of the contract, that's where this should be voted upon. And that's why it is being now voted upon.
Correct. It should have been voted upon back in February, correct? As per contractually, it should have been voted upon back in February.
The evaluation process, according to our policy, says that it does have to be evaluated by by February. That's what the original. But according to like there again, according to our attorneys, or our attorney, unless you're in the last year of a contract, the February guideline, that doesn't necessarily have to be strictly adhered to. And it's something that if we want to, as a group, we have the right at any time we could change that policy.
Okay, is this the last year of the contract?
Not yet.
Okay, so February is the tentative target, correct?
For this coming year, it would be technically, yes.
I'm saying what we're retroactively voting on, not this coming
No,
year.
because his last year of contract would not start until August 1st, and then he'll be in the last year of his current contract.
Gotcha. So then we won't have to worry about it, but now we're worrying about it is what I'm saying. I see what you're saying is we're working on next year. What I'm talking about is this year.
And because this was brought to the attention previously, back in June, that's why like I said, we've had counsel with the attorney, and that's why we are correcting this moving forward, because he went through our policy, went through the contract and everything and made this recommendation, and so that's why we are doing this the way it is tonight, to basically make sure we're doing it correct moving forward.
Right, and contractually, it's not a guaranteed 6%, correct?
That is correct.
So you voted on the 6%. You gave him the full 6%.
Based on the reviews that I had at hand, yes.
Okay. So that took away their voices.
You're correct. I was totally at error for that, and we've discussed that, and
I just wanted the community to know about it, because I would request that you would resign from your position for doing such things.
I mean, I take your opinion to heart, but I mean, that's not something that I'm going to entertain.
Okay.
So,